Alrighty, now it is time for the top 5 segment.
Yes.
Oh man. The top 5 this week is brought to you by our podcast producer Jason, who's just been rocking and rolling, definitely throwing out some new ideas. Man, this one, I had to go digging for this shit.
I mean, this was crazy. I mean, I knew one right off the bat that I wanted to put on there, but then the rest of them, I was like, man, what? There's so many.
Yeah.
How do you choose?
Exactly. Top 5 cop thrillers. Like, not buddy cop movies, cop thrillers. Some nice, juicy, dramatic dialogue. Like, it was intense.
It was intense.
But, I mean, we got some good picks. My number 5 goes to SWAT, with Samuel Jackson, LL Cool J, fucking Colin Farrell, like, so many good actors and such a good storyline. And plus, I'm not sure a lot of people know, James Dumont.
Yes.
James Dumont is in SWAT, so be sure to go back and fucking, watch this one. It's such an epic story. Like, I really like this movie.
Agreed. And I bet he knows the theme song, too.
I bet he does.
That we should be doing. Boy, we had a lot of feedback on that. Maybe we'll do that one next time.
Right.
Mine, number 5, is Black Klansmen. We've talked about this movie multiple times on the show. We think it's absolutely brilliant. Everybody, Topher Grace, everybody involved in that thing was just epic, and the surprise, a thriller all the way around. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Spike is a genius, and just, if you haven't seen this film, you should.
Yeah.
Do it.
It's
I can't
such a
say
good
enough
movie.
about it.
Such a good movie. And Denzel Washington's son.
Yeah,
David
Washington, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so good. My number 4 goes to Black Mass. We're talking about Whitey Bulger. I love gangster flicks, especially when it has to do with, like, New York or Boston, anywhere up east. Like, just so fucking good. But, I mean, you throw in Johnny Depp, and, like, this guy was just recently caught, like, less than 10 years ago. He was on the run for, like, years and years. But such a good movie, especially, I mean, like I said, Johnny Depp. You got Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Like, such a good cast. You got Dakota Johnson and Joel Edgerton. I mean, there's so many fucking good, epic people in this movie, and such a good, dramatic performance by everyone involved.
Totally agree. My number 4, Patriots Day.
You
remember that one? That's about Mark Wahlberg, the Boston police officer that tracked down after the bombing at the marathon.
Yeah.
Man, this movie did a brilliant job because, as you guys know, we come from a news background and everything, and we were involved in carrying this story and following this story live on TV as it was happening and everything, and it was intense when they found this guy finally in the backyard in the boat. Remember, he was hiding in the boat and he was worried about getting shot and, like, all the shit that went down. I think Wahlberg and the gang behind this movie did a brilliant job of capturing that intensity, and even though you kind of knew what was going to happen, you didn't know what was going to happen in the movie. So just a brilliant movie. I really, really liked it. Patriots Day.
Same, man. Freaking same. My number 3 goes to American Gangster. Freaking Russell Crowe, Denzel Washington.
Yes.
About Frank Lucas, heroin fucking drug lord in Harlem, New York. So, I mean, fucking example of what I just said about Black Mass.
Yep.
But these two, they were just fucking phenomenal in these characters. Like, it's so good, especially the back and forth. They, like, because even though, like, Russell Crowe's character is trying to apprehend and, like, get Denzel Washington's character, like, in jail, obviously, but they play back and forth so well during the scenes that they have together. So it was really good.
Totally good. Wow, boy, this is a good list.
Yeah,
this is a really good list. All right, my number 3, I don't know if a lot of people have heard of this one because it kind of came out in a time with, I guess, huge, bigger movies, and so it was kind of overlooked a little bit, I think. Prisoners.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic movie with Hugh Jackman, Jake Gyllenhaal, Viola Davis, Terrence Howard, Paul Dano. It's basically about this child that gets kidnapped, and they're on the hunt for them. And like Jackman goes insane trying to hunt down and find this kid, and Paul Dano is
it's like his kid, right? And his
Yeah,
kid,
yeah.
And then he finds like the guy who he thinks did it.
yeah,
and then
Paul
fucking
Dano's character who's,
tortures
like,
him and shit.
Yeah, crazy ass Paul Dano in this film, man. A just brilliant performance by him. Creepy ass van and like all the kind of shit. Viola Davis and Terrence Howard are fantastic in it as well.
Yeah.
Definitely, if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's a really good movie.
Yeah, man.
And you'll be surprised. It's definitely got a twist.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. My number 2 goes to Four Brothers. Freaking Tyrese Gibson, Andre 3000 from Outkast.
Yes.
I mean, fucking Mark Wahlberg and Terrence Howard.
Yep.
Like, Cookie. Fucking, what's her face?
Taraji P.
Taraji
Yeah.
Henson. Like, there's so many epic fucking people in this one as well, especially like when they're all adopted brothers and they come back to try to kind of solve their mother's murder. And like the way they do it, it was just insane, absolutely insane. Like one of my favorite movies of all time, to be honest with you. Four Brothers.
I would agree. It's one of mine as well, and a real, I mean, thrill ride from start to finish. Honestly, another one of those where it's twists and turns and you don't know what's coming.
Definitely.
So, but we got a theme: Mark Wahlberg and the Washingtons, and
Right, like-
Terrence Howard. We got a little theme going. It's all right.
yeah.
It's okay. And we're gonna keep with that theme. My number 2 is Training Day with Denzel Washington and Ethan Hawke. Holy shit!
Definitely a good one.
Man, if you haven't seen this film, you should definitely be seeing this film.
Right.
All right, I think we all know Denzel Washington as a badass crooked cop. Who doesn't want to see that?
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Poor Ethan Hawke stood no chance.
I know.
No
fucking
chance.
drugging him like
No,
he gave him spice
just
and
like-
shit or some PCP and fucking
Shit
King
was
Kong ain't got
crazy.
nothing on me. Like, yeah, fucking
It's
great
crazy.
movie.
It's a brilliant movie. Yeah, definitely high on the list.
Definitely, definitely. My number 1, of course, it's a Leonardo DiCaprio film, and Mark Wahlberg,
Yeah.
and Matt Damon, and Martin Sheen, like, and fucking Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Like, this movie is star-packed.
That's
and
funny that you had because that's two black masses.
Yeah.
You know, Johnny Depp and Jack Nicholson played the same character, Whitey Bulger. There, you know, so that's interesting.
Jack Nicholson played Frank Costello.
I thought he played Whitey.
He did not. Yeah, I know. Gotcha.
What?
Boom. Fact check.
Oh,
fact check.
man.
Yeah, fucking fact check. But yeah,
Who
The
played
Departed.
him? Who played Whitey?
Nobody played Whitey in that film. It wasn't about Whitey.
Wasn't it based on? 'Cause I swear I remember reading something that it was.
It might have been based
Whitey.
on, but I mean, that wasn't his character's
Okay,
name. Yeah.
all right.
Which was weird because there was a real life gangster who ran with Lucky Luciano, who was Frank Costello in New York. So I mean, and this was set in Boston. So yeah, it's weird. It's all weird. But
You're the gangster guy though, so I wholeheartly trust you on this. So
But
it's
The
good.
Departed, Leonardo DiCaprio and Matt Damon. This is definitely a thrill ride because you're kind of trying to keep up because you have a kid who grew up in a gangster society who became an informant for the gangsters in law enforcement, and then you got this undercover cop who becomes fucking a gangster with the gangsters, like trying to fucking just, it's a lot to keep up with, but it's so damn good, and especially when Leonardo DiCaprio's character and Matt Damon's character finally figures out who each other is. Like, it's absolutely brilliant.
And I mean, one of the best things I love about that movie too is that line they deliver, because I feel like it's so true. Even if you go all the way back to the Untouchables with Kevin Costner and stuff about coming up in those type neighborhoods, in those type families, you only had two choices: you were a gangster or a cop.
Yeah, exactly.
You were on one side or the other, and that's how your life was going to play out. And I really love how they address that.
Yeah.
It's like it's so good.
And I mean, how parallel their upbringings were, like,
Right.
because they literally, one of them could have went either way.
Exactly.
So, such a good movie. Martin Scorsese.
Yes, of course. I mean, just knows how to tell a story.
He does.
That's Scorsese.
Yeah.
I like that. My number 1. What's in the fucking box, man?
It's in the fucking box!
What's in the box? It's Gwyneth Paltrow's head, Brad. It's Gwyneth Paltrow's head. Spoiler, 7.
Yep.
7 is my number 1 all-time favorite cop thriller.
good one.
I mean, you never knew what was coming in that movie, right? It was all over the place. Morgan Freeman, Brad Pitt, Gwyneth Paltrow, Kevin Spacey. This movie was insane.
Yeah.
The 7 sins, man. The 7 deadly sins. And it was like some of the most disgusting shit.
Yeah.
That pound of flesh and the gluttony and like the...
Yeah.
I mean, it was just nasty. But and Spacey was just like, uncredited.
Really?
Uncredited,
Wow.
yeah. Yeah, it was insane. I guess part of they didn't want you to know who the bad guy was. You remember they kind of kept him secret the whole time until you finally saw his face or whatever, and so they felt like, I guess, if they gave Spacey away, that you would know.
Right.
So that uncredited, the whole was not in the premiere. Was not in the trailers. Just like everything kind of hidden around that whole thing. So
crazy,
very interesting, man. Yeah. But Brad Pitt really broke his hand. So when he's wearing that cast in it, he broke that on set. Had to wear the cast. So
he's so good.
He's that good.
He's so good.
He's that good.
Oh my goodness. But great top 5 segment. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, do all that fun stuff that's on YouTube. And like we said at the top of the show, if you are listening to the podcast on podcast platforms, please go back and watch the video on YouTube. But
yes,
great top 5. Great top 5.
Definitely.